The main purpose of the automotive program at VVC is to train prospective students and employees for the industry. The focus of the community colleges over the years has changed. There was a time when basically community college was to serve both the transition and educational needs, but it was also a hobby shop. But that's kind of gone away, and now our main focus is to train students for the industry. The classes run like a job environment in that we set up a system with service advisors, which serve as the people that interact with the public. They write vehicles up, write legal service orders, order parts, and then they dispatch those work orders to the mechanical classes for diagnosis and repair. So they interact with one another just as if they would in a normal dealership. And so everybody gets that experience. The advisors get the opportunity to deal with the public, and the technicians get the opportunity to do the diagnosis, the repairs, and see if their diagnosis and repair actually was correct in the end. One of the things that we do, that we just actually recently started, is how we take attendance is they clock in and clock out with a time card just like they would in a normal automotive repair shop. It serves as a constant reminder to the students that consistent attendance and being on time and staying for the whole entire duration of the class and or what would normally be a job is very important. What makes us different is that every single one of our instructors has worked in the automotive industry for at least a decade, some of us much longer than that. And so we've done everything we can do to replicate our classroom environment and our lab environment to be just like the shops that they're going to go into. There isn't that huge disparity between what they're being taught and what they're actually experiencing in the industry. Hopefully what we do is exactly the same, so their transition to industry is very seamless. VVC keeps up the technology a couple different ways. We meet at least twice a year with members of the industry. We have a great partnership with all of the new car dealerships in the Victor Valley, and they give us constant advice on what their technicians need from us, what technology changes there are. They tell us about the new tools, the new diagnostic equipment, and then we have several grants that we purchase that material out of. If we need to write new classes based on the information we've gotten, we write new curriculum and offer those new courses to be able to accommodate the students. So when the students go out, they're prepared. They're prepared to be the employees that the dealerships are looking for. The good thing about the automotive industry is sustainability is a huge part of it. There are a lot of things that you can do when you go to college. There's a lot of places you can get education, a lot of areas you can get education that may not necessarily be there when you're done with your education or for years afterward. And the good thing about the automotive industry is I don't see a foreseeable future in the United States where we don't have some type of mechanized transportation. Those jobs will always be there. In the automotive industry, you really kind of have to focus on a particular area to be very, very successful and to earn a high wage. There was a day when there was a master certified technician that just was kind of a jack of all trades that was able to work on everything bumper to bumper from the car. But the complexity of cars anymore is so great that you really kind of have to focus your knowledge on one particular area to ensure that you're at the top level of your game. There's technicians that kind of focus on computerized drivability and electronics, state smog inspection. Then there's the technicians that are more involved in suspension and steering. Then there's ones that do engines and transmission. So there's these like little cluster areas that students can focus on. They kind of limit the breadth of what they know, but deepen their understanding so they have a really great knowledge base to really be the top level when they leave the program. Really, live work is the best way that we like to train students. Our preference is to take broken cars off the street that have failed in a natural way that future technicians will be exposed to. But in the absence of that, we have mock-up models where we have a complete engine, drivetrain, transmission, air conditioning, and computerized engine management system that has been removed from a vehicle and mocked up in basically a roll-around stand for us to do instruction. With these engine mock-ups, we can put nearly an entire class around it, and they have a better viewing point and access points for the instructor to be able to explain how the different systems on the vehicle interact. There has been an organization around since the 80s called ASE, stands for Automotive Service Excellence, and basically ensures prospective employer that this employee has at least a certain level of base knowledge of experience. It doesn't ensure with absolute certainty that person is going to be a good technician, but it informs the employer that they're at least at a set standard. ASE is the certifications for technicians. NATEF is the National Automotive Technicians Education Foundation. NATEF certification is basically the educational arm of ASE. It is a certifying agency, an accrediting agency that certifies educational facilities to ensure students that if they go to, say, Victor Valley College, we're a master certified facility. So if you want to be a transmission technician and you come to us, and you take the automatic transmission class, and you take the manual transmission class, and you take the computerized integration class for transmissions, that you're leaving our programs with the necessary knowledge that's required to pass the ASEs. See, a lot of programs out there can give you a class on transmissions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the information they're giving you is going to apply to ASE. And that certification for us means that when you leave us, you've been at least exposed to the information that's going to be required to pass the test. In addition to the regular classroom and lab environment, the advanced students are able to go out into industry and serve in an internship capacity for 6 months or during a normal semester period. It exposes them to the actual work environment they'll be experiencing when they leave the program. On May 16th, 2016, they will be breaking ground on a new modern facility for automotive that's going to include 5 additional classrooms and also tripling our lab space. That's going to allow us to accommodate a tremendous amount of new technology and equipment to be able to keep pace with the industry.